Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are doing great. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe. I have created several playlists for various categories of problems such as BFS, DFS, dynamic programming, sorting, binary search. So please check them out. Also, I have uploaded the code for this problem to GitHub repository. You can get the link from the description below this video. Let's jump into today's problem. The problem is cousins in binary tree. In a binary tree, the root node is at depth 0 and children of depth k node are at depth k plus 1, right? Two nodes of binary tree are cousins if they have same depth but have different parents. So that's the definition of the cousins. So if they are having same depth but they have different parents, then they are called cousins, right? So we are given a root of the binary tree with unique values and the values x and y of two different nodes in the tree. So return true if and only if the nodes corresponding to the values x and y are cousins. So that is the question asked. So we are basically given with binary tree where the values in the binary tree are unique, right? So that's what is mentioned. So the definition of the cousins is they should have same depth but their parents should be different. So those are two conditions, right? So they should have same depth and they should be different parents. So let's go ahead and try to understand with an example, right? So the first example, so the question given is 1 2 3 4. There are 4 nodes and x is equal to 4, y is equal to 3. So 4 and 3. By looking at the tree, obviously they are not at the same depth. So we should return false, right? We should return false because they should have at the same depth. For example, if we are given with x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3, right? So it's x is equal to 4, but just I'm saying if x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 3, they are at the same depth, but the problem there is they have the same parent, right? So 2 and 3 are having same parent as 1. So even in that case also they are not cousins, right? So that is another condition. So we need to check for those two conditions. So let's go ahead and look at the example 2, right? So they are given x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 4. There are total 5 nodes. So 4 and 5 are at the same depth, right? 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. So they are at the same depth and they don't have same parents. So 4's parent is 2, 5's parent is 3. So they have different parents. So in that case, what you are going to return? Return true. So that's how we have to go, right? So how we are going to achieve this problem is basically we need to search where x is occurring and where y is occurring. So we need the path basically. So the length of the path is also sufficient. We actually don't need the full path, but we can just know the length of the path, right? So as long as we know the length of the path, we are enough. So in the algorithm that I'm going to use is I'm going to calculate the length of the full path, not just the length of the path. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into the logic. So we will use DFS, depth first search, to search for a given node. So the nodes that we have to search are x and y, right? So x and y we will search. So once we find the node, we will return the path from root to that given node, right? Root to x and root to y. So we will return the path root to x for first call and root to y for the second call. So once we have the paths, since we are saying they have the same depth, right? So the length of the path for root to x and root to y should be same. So that is one condition, right? And the second thing is the x parent and y parent should not match. So that is how we are going to check. So once you have the path from root to x and root to y, it's easy to check what is y's parent and what is x parent, right? And obviously we can check the length. So by those three informations, we can say whether they are cousins or not. So that's how we are going to proceed with this algorithm. So if the nodes are existing in the binary tree and have their paths from root to x and root to y of the same length, then check if the parents of x and y are not same, right? So if they are not same, then only we have to return true. If they're same, again we will have to return false again, because they cannot have same parents. That's what it is, right? So if they're not same, we have to return true. All other cases, like the paths lengths are different, our parents are same, if the node is not found or node is null, in all those other cases you just return false. So let's go ahead and dive into this algorithm, right? So is cousins, we are passed with root node and x and y, right? So we search for x and we search for y, and we get the path from root to x, we get the path from root to y. So x path and y path I'm calling. So if x path count is equal to y path count, then we go further processing. Otherwise, if the paths are not same, right, we just return false straight away. If it is, then we go into further processing. Otherwise, we just return false. So if just get the path count, because they are same, and what we are to check is when the path count is n, right? When the path count is n, it has 0 to n minus 1, right? 0 to n minus 1 indices, right? So n minus 1 index will be x or y, right? So n minus 2 index is the x parent, n minus 2 index is y's parent in y's path. So that's what we are checking. We are checking the parents of n minus 2. So the contents of n minus 2 in path, in x path, and content of n minus 2 in y path should not be same. If so, we return true. If they are same, we return false. So if they are same means, for example, in the example 1, right, if we are given 2 and 3, the n minus 2 node will have 1 for both cases, because 1 2 1 3, right? 1 2 1 3. So n minus 2 case will have the same node. That's what we are checking here. So this essentially checks different parents, right? Like different parents. So if that is the case, we return true. Otherwise, we return false. Let's go ahead and look at the code for search node, right? We just looked at the algorithm for the main method, but search node we haven't looked at. So let's go ahead and look at the search node. So this essentially is implementation of the DFS algorithm. So for this, I have a placeholder class to keep track of the tree node and at what level it is, right? So obviously the level of the node for the root node is 0, right? That's what is mentioned. So root node is at depth 0, right? So that's why the level for root node will be 0. So this is a placeholder class which I am going to use as part of my DFS implementation. So let's go ahead and look at the DFS, right? So list answer. So this is the path that I am going to return once I found the node x, right? So this we are going to call 2 times, one with x, one with y, right? So if root is null, we just return the answer. We don't need to give anything, right? Because the tree is empty. Next, we just create a stack to keep track of the DFS and push into the stack the root node and its level, right? So that's what we are creating. Level is, root node is at level 0. That's what we call, right? And then found x. So basically x, I am initializing it to false. So we have not found the x yet. And while the stack count is greater than or equal to 0, we pop from the stack and then initialize another variable called added at end, right? So if we see whether we are adding at the end of the answer list or we are updating the existing answer list, because we are going through the DFS, right? So if we create one list and keep updating till we find that is sufficient, we don't need like that many number of lists to do the DFS. So that's the reason why I created added at the end or not. So if the number of elements in the answer is less than the level, right, less than or equal to, then we just add the current tree nodes value and say okay, it added at the end to true. Otherwise we just update the existing. Okay, so this is just to keep track of single list and keep on updating for that particular path. So if the current tree node value is x, that means x is found, right? So here x is found. In this case, what we are going to do is we set the found is x is equal to true, right? And if it is not added at the end, then we have to remove if there is any extra elements in the answer, list. So we remove the extra elements in the answer list and then break out of the while loop. But if we have not found this x yet, what we are going to do is we go and add the left and right and left tree nodes for the current node, right? For the current node, whatever the left subtree and right subtree, we are going to add, put into the stack, right? So we push into the stack and we will continue this until the stack count is greater than 0. There is a case where if it is found, we will be breaking out from here. So finally, we break out from this loop, assuming that we found or we did not find. So if it is not found, what we are saying is we did not find that element, and what we are saying is we just return an empty list. Otherwise, we return whatever the answer that we got so far, right? So likewise, we got the answer. So for a given example, right? So let's go ahead and look at the example 2 and follow this. So XPath will have content like 1, 2, 5. Sorry, because x is equal to 5, right? X is equal to 5, right? And y, what will y have? 1, 3, so not 3 actually, 2, 4, right? So that's what we will have, x is equal to 4. So this path is y path and this path is x path, right? So the lengths are same because they are at the same level, and the parent of 4 is 2, parent of 5 is 3. So that's the reason why we return true. So this is what is going to get from the search for given node, right? So let's go ahead and look at the time complexity and space complexity for this algorithm, right? So time. So we are doing the search for a given node x and y, right? So let's say there are n nodes in binary tree, right? So since we have to search all the nodes, right? So the search will be done 2 times. So order of n plus one more order of n, right? Order of n. Because we are doing 2 searches, x and y. So order of n. And once we have it, this is a simple comparison, right? We have a simple comparison, right? So if the path count is same, we just look at the n minus 2 index content. So the total time complexity is still order of n plus order of n. So that will be order of 2n. Since we remove the constants from the big O notation, we will say the complexity of time complexity for this algorithm will be order of n on the whole. So there is one thing that we are ignoring in this time complexity, right? So that is, if there are multiple nodes added at the end of the list, right, we are removing it. But this removal will be depending on the height of the tree, right? So depending on the height of the tree, we are removing this one, right? So this is an additional overhead that we are taking apart from the order of n, right? So the total time complexity will be order of n plus some constant, right? So that's why I'm taking order of n again. So space. So what space we are using? So we are using the space for x path and y path, right? So that's what the space we are using, right? So and also a queue we are using. Sorry, a stack, not queue, stack. We are using a stack space in search node. So let's say the depth is d, right? The total depth is d, right? So we are using x path and y path. So that means order of d plus order of d, right? So that means it here. And then we are using the stack space for going through the DFS. So this is not a this is just a placeholder, right? The elements are coming and going, right? So that depends on at a given instance of time how many right subtrees are there in a given depth d. So the content in the stack are also equal to the depth d, right? So that means another order of d, right? So totally order of 3d, right? So what we are going to say is, since it is a big O notation, we are going to say order of D as the space complexity for this algorithm, right? So if you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I have posted this code to the GitHub repository. As I said, you can find the link from the description below this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe, and also share among your friends. Please click on the bell icon so that you will get notifications about all my future videos. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with another video very soon. Till then, stay safe and goodbye.